Most men believe loyalty is permanent, a decision to stay through anything, no matter how emotions shift. They equate it with commitment, with a promise that once given, cannot be broken. But for women, loyalty often works differently. It is rarely a fixed contract of devotion. Instead, it is tied to emotions, convenience, and how well you meet her needs. She will stay as long as she receives the attention, affection, stability, and status she craves. The moment those feelings fade, her loyalty begins to shift, often quietly, without warning. And she won't admit it. She will continue to perform the role of the loyal partner, smiling, speaking words of love, and keeping up appearances long after her heart has begun to check out emotionally. Most men are blindsided because they believed what they were shown matched what she felt, but for many women, loyalty is a performance, not a constant truth. Women are naturally skilled at emotional camouflage. They can behave as though everything is normal, maintaining closeness and intimacy while internally detaching and fantasizing about a different reality. They may even wait to see if those lost feelings return or if a better opportunity presents itself before making any move. What appears as loyalty in the moment is often hesitation, fear of change, and the instinct to maintain comfort until they are ready to leave. This duality, the visible performance versus internal disconnection, is why men often describe a woman changing overnight. The truth is that change rarely happens instantly, it is a gradual process hidden beneath a mask of affection. Men must understand that presence and words do not equal loyalty. True loyalty is measured by consistency through emotional shifts, not by the performance of staying until it is convenient or advantageous. Women often don't leave the moment their emotions shift. Instead, they wait. They wait to see if the feelings they've lost return. They wait to see if a better option appears. They wait to ensure their exit will leave them unjudged, unblamed, and unscathed in the eyes of others. While waiting, they maintain a delicate performance. They are affectionate enough to keep you believing, distant enough to start the process of detachment. To the man who loves her, it can seem sudden when the change becomes obvious, but the truth is that what appears overnight has been developing for months. What seemed like loyalty was often hesitation, fear of change, and a desire to maintain comfort while planning an exit. This is why so many men are shocked when she moves on quickly. They assumed she was loyal, that she felt the same commitment they did, yet her heart had already detached. Loyalty for many women is tied to emotions, not to promises or years invested. Once the feelings she relied on for attachment change, her loyalty changes too. Men who fail to recognize this often build years of effort, sacrifice, and emotional investment only to be blindsided when she is already emotionally gone. She was never truly unfaithful because her departure doesn't always involve a clear act of betrayal, rather, it is the gradual erosion of emotional commitment. While you believe she was present, her heart had long been elsewhere, and her actions, though outwardly consistent, were guided by a quiet withdrawal. Understanding this pattern is essential. It is not about mistrust for its own sake but about seeing reality clearly. Presence does not equal loyalty, and words do not guarantee commitment. Men who grasp this begin to measure loyalty by emotional consistency and actions over time, rather than by fleeting performances that hide her true intentions. Words can be deceiving. A woman may constantly talk about loyalty, make promises, swear on her devotion, and post about commitment, yet none of this guarantees anything. Men often fall into the trap of believing what they hear instead of watching what is actually happening. A woman who is truly loyal will demonstrate it through actions, not just speech. She will stand by you during hardships, support you when life tests you, and maintain consistency even when it is inconvenient or difficult. Words without alignment to actions are empty, no matter how heartfelt they sound. The problem is that many men confuse routine or habitual presence with real loyalty. She may text you daily, spend time with you, and even be affectionate, yet emotionally, she may be elsewhere. Loyalty is revealed in the moments when no one is watching, when there is nothing to gain, when feelings are low, and life feels challenging. It is not about maintaining appearances or performing to meet expectations. Many women understand this dynamic and use it strategically. They know men value loyalty deeply, so they present the illusion of it enough to keep you invested, enough to delay scrutiny, enough to maintain control over the relationship. Men who rely solely on what is said, rather than what is done, are vulnerable to this performance. The clearest measure of loyalty is consistency under pressure. Does she show up when life is hard? Does she act in your interest even when there's no immediate benefit to her? Does she protect you when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable? If she does, her loyalty is real. If she does not, the words you hear are nothing more than a performance designed to sustain her position while her heart slowly disengages. Recognizing this distinction is essential for any man who wants to avoid being blindsided by fake devotion. Women often hide their true feelings behind a carefully constructed mask. Society pressures them to appear loyal, even when their emotions have shifted, and they have long disengaged. To maintain the image of devotion, they rewrite the story of their own behavior, exaggerating patience, sacrifice, and commitment. They overperform loyalty in subtle ways, suddenly becoming more affectionate, more attentive, more vocal about their devotion. Compliments, intimacy, and small gestures increase, but these actions are often driven by guilt rather than genuine feeling. This is camouflage, a way to maintain the appearance of loyalty while internally detaching. Conditional excuses are another tactic. She may claim she is loyal because she hasn't cheated, because she hasn't left, or because she has been patient. Yet these reasons are proximity-based, not devotion-based. Standing beside you does not mean standing with you. Presence without emotional engagement is one of the cruelest forms of betrayal because it creates a false sense of security. A man who confuses routine and proximity for loyalty is vulnerable to this performance. The language she uses can be misleading, too. Phrases like "I've been loyal" or "I've given my all" are often statements designed to reinforce her image rather than reflect reality. Watch where her actions are invested. Does she genuinely participate in your shared vision and long-term plans, or does she keep her commitments vague, superficial, or conditional? Women pretending to be loyal will avoid tying themselves to your future because they know they will not be present long enough to see it through. Yet, they sprinkle just enough references to "we" and "someday" to maintain the illusion, keeping you invested and hopeful. Recognizing this pattern, actions versus words, consistency versus performance, is crucial. Men must see beyond the mask, understanding that true loyalty is demonstrated in difficult times, through unwavering commitment and alignment between what is said and what is done, not through strategic performances or selective appearances. Social media has added a new layer to the performance of fake loyalty. Women now live in a world where attention, validation, and options are endless. Likes, comments, and messages create a constant stream of potential connections that feed curiosity and desire. Even if she remains with you, she may be quietly consuming this attention, imagining what life could be like elsewhere, or entertaining possibilities that have nothing to do with your relationship. This is not always intentional betrayal, it is often opportunism disguised as loyalty. She convinces herself that scrolling, liking, or responding online doesn't matter, that it is harmless, yet it creates a subtle shift in her emotional attachment. Social media can give the illusion of infinite choice, allowing her to explore alternatives while maintaining the appearance of devotion. This is where self-justification comes in. When loyalty begins to falter, she doesn't see herself as betraying you, instead, she frames her actions as personal growth, self-discovery, or needing space. She may tell herself she deserves more, that things aren't the same, or that it's not about you, but about her. Emotional survival masking allows her to maintain the outward performance of loyalty. She posts stories, shows affection, and performs rituals of love while emotionally withdrawing piece by piece. Time, attention, and energy are carefully rationed to sustain the illusion. Men often see the performance and mistake it for authenticity because they rely heavily on visible signs and presence. Yet presence alone is not loyalty. True loyalty requires the heart, mind, and actions to align consistently over time. When her attention is divided, her emotional investment fractured, and her engagement selective, it is a clear sign that what appears as loyalty is actually a controlled performance designed to protect her image, her comfort, and her options. Understanding this dynamic allows men to measure devotion by action rather than perception, protecting themselves from being blindsided by subtle disconnection masked as loyalty. The ultimate way to protect yourself from fake loyalty is to see through the mask and focus on patterns over words. Men often fall for sweet talk, promises, or visible presence, believing that devotion is guaranteed simply because it looks and sounds consistent. True loyalty, however, is proven over time and under pressure. It is revealed when emotions dip, when life becomes difficult, and when there is nothing convenient or beneficial for her. By observing actions in these moments, you gain clarity. You stop being hypnotized by words like "I'll never leave you" or "You're my only one" because you measure everything against reality. Men who do this refuse to be fooled by performance, and in doing so, they gain power. Women may resist, call you detached or cold, but they respect strength and accountability. When a woman knows she cannot manipulate your perception through words alone, she either elevates herself to meet the standard or exposes herself through failure to do so. The pretenders fall away, leaving only those who can demonstrate authentic loyalty. This shift changes the dynamic completely. She understands that half-effort and empty promises no longer work. Her behavior becomes intentional, her commitment measurable, and her loyalty grounded in consistent action rather than fleeting emotion. Men who demand proof, consistency, and respect rather than taking comfort in words avoid being blindsided. They do not build their lives on illusions but on clarity and observation. True loyalty is rare, but when recognized and rewarded, it is powerful. By valuing action over appearance, by focusing on patterns rather than promises, you free yourself from deception. You walk with clarity, protect your dignity, and ensure that any woman who remains by your side has earned her place through genuine devotion, not performance. Presence alone is not loyalty, but proof through consistent, tested behavior is.